Hello beautiful, welcome back to my channel. My name is Bettina and I'm the makeup enthusiast. In today's video I'm going to be sharing with you my next update on my Pan Those eyeshadows. I am desperate to update you on this project because I think I've got one pan, so I'm like desperate for a new eyeshadow, but I also want to share my progress with you on the rest. Getting a little bit close to pan on a few, I think. So if you do want to see this update, then stay tuned. But before we get into the video, if you are new around here and you do love watching Project Pans, make sure you subscribe down below. And without further ado, let's jump on into the video. Pan Those eyeshadows I've done, I think, for 2 years now previously. This is my 3rd year, and for this year I decided to mix it up a little bit, and I'm following along with Makeup with Laney's prompts. She has a list of 100 prompts. You randomly generate as many as you want from that list, and each prompt correlates to something in your collection. So for example, prompt number 1 is a black eyeshadow. There's ones in there about an eyeshadow starting with a certain letter, one that you've tried to pan before, and etc, etc. I'm working on 5 at the moment because I'm also doing Project Level Up. So from Project Level Up, there is also the added challenge of wanting to hit pan on eyeshadows in that project. So as not to have too many eyeshadows to hit pan on, I reduced down the number that I focus on in this project, but now we're up to like 8 because I'm up to level 3 in Project Level Up, and there's 5 in this project. So I probably have bitten off a little bit more than I can chew, but that's okay. So I haven't updated this project for 2 months now because I was away out of the country for 6.5 weeks. That information, I don't know whether you know that yet, but I am planning on filming a video explaining all about my overseas trip and where I've been and all of that jazz. I only took my Natasha Denona My Dream palette with me, along with another palette, but out of this project, that's the only palette that I took with me. When I was over there, this shadow in this project, I probably maybe used like once or twice. But all that being said, I do feel like there is a little bit of progress on that shade. I'm just gonna bring up my spreadsheet that has all of the information and deets on it about my prompts. Well, the first prompt that I personally selected myself because I wanted to give myself a little bit of a head start was the first one on the list, and that was a black eyeshadow. I picked this one out because I didn't want it to be like November when I ended up randomly generating number 1. So I picked this out myself, and to match number 1 being a black eyeshadow, I did grab the black out of the Natasha Denona My Dream palette. So it's called Blackest Black, and I don't know whether you can see, I don't know whether it's going to show up, but there is a little bit of wear going on the pan now. There's a little bit of disturbance, a tiny little bit of a dip starting to form. So I'm very happy to see that finally happening. I have used this one a total of, still my counter still only says 15, but I know for certain that it looks different than the last time I updated. So I obviously did use this a handful of times while I was away. But I want to say maybe only only 2 or 3 more times. I may have used it since I got back, but I can't remember for certain. So I might just like add, maybe we might just say like 18, just as a generous estimate, and then we will start our count again. But I know for certain that there is definitely wear, and there wasn't wear previously. Previously I had used it like a bucket load of times and there was no sign of usage on that particular shadow. So I'm gonna say we're up to 18 uses on this one, and I'm hoping that maybe as we get through the year, through the next 6 months, we're going to start seeing a lot more progress on that one. I think for me to be able to see a lot more progress on it, I think I'm gonna have to start using it a lot more as like an eyeliner or something like that, just to get some more use out of it. Because as it is, I currently only just do like the tiniest little dot, and that's more than enough to do like just a little bit of darkening on the outer corner. So it is what it is. What was the next prompt that I got? The next prompt that I got was a shadow from your favorite palette. Now for that one, I did grab out my little Menagerie single eyeshadow palette because the packaging on this is just absolutely beautiful. But also housed in this palette is some of my favorite shadows. These are my Cleona stained glass multi-chromes. And out of this palette, I just randomly generated a number. I did end up getting the color Heiress from the stained glass collection. This is one of the hybrid multi-chromes, and as you can see, I have managed to hit pan on that one. I'm so happy, and I'm so glad to start seeing some wear and tear in this palette. Like, I've got a pan now in it. There's still some shadows that still have like the little Cleona logo on them, but for the most part, like, it's all worn off already, which to me shows that I'm actually using these shadows, which makes me very happy because these are very expensive shadows. And I'm happy to get some use out of them. I mean, they were a gift, but obviously I'm very happy to see that I'm actually using these and not just leaving them waste away in my drawer, as often we do when we have huge like hoards of makeup. Now, I managed to hit pan on that one with a total of 19 uses. So very happy to have pan on that one. I did use that one for my nails a couple of times, but for the most part, it was just as a like shimmer on the lid, and oh, chef's kiss. Such a good eyeshadow. I love it. The next one was number 32, and that was your Duochrome eyeshadow. Now, to match that one, I did grab a shadow from my Sydney Grace eyeshadow palettes. Now, I've just put it in this little empty magnetic palette that I picked up from Glamonatrix Cosmetics. They were selling off their extra stock of the eyeshadow palettes. I think there was like, I don't know whether it was that there was an issue or there was an extra stock, or there was like some problem with these ones, so they were selling them off cheap. In any event, I did pick up one of these, so I've been putting like some random singles in this palette for like, I don't know. My whole idea was to like do a custom palette, but some of the shadows that I wanted to put in here, like specifically like my Cleona ones, they don't actually fit in here, which is kind of annoying. But it is what it is. The Glamonatrix shadows do fit in here though, which is good. And the Sydney Grace ones, obviously. So my Sydney Grace shadow that I picked out was my greatest gift, which is this one here. And as you can see, there is a very good dip starting to form in that one there. I am wearing this on my nails today over a like pinky purple shadow. It's already starting to chip, which is whole nother story. And I am also wearing it on my lid today as my shimmer on my lid. I think this color is absolutely beautiful. I love it, and I think that I will definitely have pan on this one by the next update. I've used this one so far a total of 8 times, and like I said, I definitely think that I will see pan on that one by the next update. Now, the next one is a shadow from a palette with the most pans, that being number 50. Now, the way that I chose this one out of my collection was the palette that I had in my collection that I've hit the most pans on already. That was my eyeshadow palette that contained my Makeup Geek singles, and then from that palette I did grab out the Makeup Geek shadow in Whimsical. Now, I don't know if you guys remember, but I dropped this one last update, so she's looking a little bit worse for wear, but I have been using this one a little bit, but there's not really any change, unfortunately, other than the big chunks that fell out of it. I'm still annoyed at myself, but it is what it is, so we will continue on with this one. I've used this one 5 times in total, so we're starting to use it a little bit more, but not as much as I would have liked. That one is there. And then last but not least was prompt number 63, and it's a shadow that starts with the letter L. Now, the shadow that I picked out to match that prompt came from my Urban Decay and Kristen Leanne Kaleidoscope palette, Kaleidoscope Dream palette. And I picked the color Lime Time, which is this one right here. As you can see, again, there is a bit of a dip starting to show on that one. I'm not entirely sure how deep these shadows go, but I want to say that maybe there might be a potential that I could have pan on this one next time. I do need to really ramp up the usages on it though. It's not the best green eyeshadow though, so I am having difficulty using this and reaching for this more than I would hope, just because it has disappointed me a little bit with how much pigment and like oomph it provides. So I've only used this one 4 times, but I think given that I've already got a bit of a dip going with 4 uses, maybe if I can double that by the next update, I might start to see, or might start to be very close to hitting pans. Hopefully maybe we might have 1 or 2 pans next time, fingers crossed. We'll see what we rotate in to replace our Cliona shadow. So far in this project, I've only hit 2 pans unfortunately, which is a little bit disappointing, but I did like jump on board with this project because I thought that it would be a little bit more challenging for me, and I'm discovering that so far, which is fine, but also coupled with my little vacay hasn't really helped in terms of my project panning this year, but that's totally fine because we all need a good little vacay every now and again. So I am going to generate a random number to replace our Cliona shadow. So we'll get a new prompt and we'll go for a little hunt in my collection to find something to match that prompt. So let's see what we get. So we get number 16. Number 16 is something that I want to pan. Hooly dooly. Okay, that's actually going to be a little bit challenging because I don't know what I want to pan. I want to pan something easy. So let's go hunting for something easy to pan. Let me have a little think and we will be back in a jiffy and I'll show you what I've decided to pan. I had a little play and I've decided which eyeshadow I want to hit pan on, or which palette I want to bring into the project next. I've actually been thinking about rotating this one in a number of times with different prompts and different projects, all of that jazz, and it is my Huda Beauty Mercury Retrograde palette. I loved this palette when it first came out and I've just kind of forgotten about it. I think the shimmer formula in here is absolutely beautiful. So I've decided to grab it out and rotate it in for this prompt. Now I have also decided that I think I want to hit pan or try and pan one of the shimmers in this palette, and I've chosen the color Cosmic up here in the corner. Now I was like swatching everything on my hand here, but Cosmic is this like beautiful, really like high shine shimmer up the top here. I just think that it might be nice as like an inner corner, a topper. It could be used over the lid. So I'm going to rotate that one in, and it might give me like an idea of how easy or difficult the shadows in here are to pan, and maybe I might decide to rotate this in again to maybe like project level up or something like that if I find out that the eyeshadows are super easy to pan on. If I need like a little bit of a booster or like a confidence boost with my panning at all for the rest of the year, if I find out that these are super easy to pan, I might rotate this in 1 or 2 more times. We'll see. I'm not quite sure. Let me know down in the comments if you guys have tried to hit pan on any of the shadows in this palette and how you got on with it. I would love to know. So that is going to be my new shadow Cosmic from Huda Beauty. I will leave a picture on the screen of my new color story that we're working on going forward. Cross your fingers for me. I hope that I can hit pan on maybe 1 or 2 shadows very soon. My goal of hitting pan on 24 shadows this year is very quickly slipping away, but that's okay. It's totally fine. It's not a big deal. But hopefully between now and December, I've got 6 months to really knuckle down and try and hit pan on a few more shadows. We might be able to get closer to 24 than we first thought. It is what it is if we don't make it. So wish me luck. Let me know down in the comments how you're going on your eyeshadow panning. If you did enjoy this video and you love watching project pan videos, make sure you give it a big thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new around here and you want to keep up to date on my future updates on this project and all my other project pans that I'm doing this year. That's it for this video, beautiful. I hope you're having an absolutely fantastic day. I hope you are staying safe, healthy, and looking after yourself. And I will see you in the next video. Goodbye, beautiful.